Wait, it says, my face when I realize that my main hobby and passion for the next 8 years of my life ends next Tuesday. Let's make it a good one, boys. That is kind of a joke. Guys, my life is ending. The story is coming to an end. Literally, it's been like 10 years. Still not over. Still not over, bro. Like every time. Goodbye, zombies. You will be missed. 3 months later, new zombies map comes out. Like, it's like, what? And I'll say this time and time again. I tweeted this out today. I'll fill you guys in on something that happened yesterday. Last night, I was in a call with, this was like really, really late night hours. This is why I didn't stream yesterday. I didn't even tell you guys why I didn't stream yesterday. I was going to finish Replicant, the first playthrough yesterday, but I didn't because I was talking with Milo, Noah, Lex, Chop. I think Liam was there too for a bit. And then even Matt at one point. And literally, I swear to God, I was in the Discord call for like 5 hours really late at night. And we just talked so much about, it could have been a podcast, honestly. The core like foundation of what we were talking about though was how important it is to follow your passion in terms of making you happy and making you like feel fulfilled in life. And seriously, like, I cannot stress this enough, guys. Like, that makes my entire day that, like, you were inspired by some of my stuff and now you're, like, building up a community of your own. And it's just like, what? Like, that's awesome. But not only that, it's like, dude, just, like, it makes me so happy when I see people, like, follow their passion, man. Literally, chat, do not let anybody tell you to not follow your passion. All right. If there's any point of life, it's that. It's follow what you love doing. It's follow what you want to do. Follow what you love doing. You find fulfillment because you're excited about something that you love. Maybe you're interested in writing. Maybe you love stories in video games or stories in TV or stories in movies. Write stuff on your own. Keep going. Keep trying for it. You'll get there. Just don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Follow your passion, bro. I cannot stress it enough. And I'm literally telling you this because even within like our like friend group, like you guys know, like the typical guys that are on the channel, a lot of times they go through like these spells, especially because content creation is very, very mentally taxing in really weird, unique ways that I think we're still discovering because this is all kind of a new thing in the last 10 years. But I don't know, like I was just telling them, I was really telling like, you know, them, I was like, listen, follow your freaking heart, follow what you love to do. If that means being a content creator, that's what you should do. If that means making this style of content, that's what you should do. If that means not being a content creator, that's what you should do. Follow your heart, man. Whenever it starts becoming not fun, that is the problem, in my opinion. I am such a big believer of like, bro, if I wasn't doing what I love doing, I would not be happy. And I know there's a lot of people who kind of fall into the system of like, they just kind of do what they're told to do by society. And I hate it. I hate it. I was told my whole life that I was supposed to be something else. And it just, first of all, A, never happened because I didn't let it. And B, there's just no way I would have been happy. And so follow your damn passions. I don't know why. The whole raid and everything just sparked that conversation that I had last night with the guys. How's Lex? He seems like he loves content creation, but he worries me sometimes. I think a lot of the guys, and I can't speak for them, and I don't know how much they would want me to talk about this, but I think some of it that you guys probably already know because they've talked about before on stream before. But I think a lot of the guys have this thing where there's this element to like YouTube and content creation where you want to keep reaching a goal, right? You want to keep reaching a goal because that kind of like, that's what empowers you to keep going. It's like, I want to reach a goal. I want to grow my channel. I want to reach a new height, like that kind of thing. And we were kind of having this conversation of what happens if you've reached that goal. Like, what happens if you reached a goal that is so impossibly hard to like reach? Like, say somebody has 10 million subs, right? No, none of us have 10 million subs, but it's a perfect example. When you hit 10 million subs, we were talking about almost in like a metaphorical way. How would that feel? What would you want to do at that point? Would you still feel fulfilled even though you reached that height? And it sounds like, oh, well, what are you talking about? Wouldn't you be happy if you had 10 million subs? I don't think it's how it works. It's about trying to constantly like grow and learn new things and just, I don't know, like there's this element of like content creation where you want to do something new. You want to keep going and try new things and experiment and find growth in different areas that you would have otherwise seen before. And I think honestly, there's been this thing, and it's not even just in terms of content creators from the zombies guys, but it's also just, I would say, not even just content creators, but just people in the zombie space. I feel like we all have this thing with BO3 where we look at BO3 and we're like, yo, Black Ops 3 is the greatest zombies thing ever, right? And nothing's ever going to top that ever, right? That's just kind of like the general consensus. And I think that vibe, as much as I agree that glory days of Black Ops 3 is very special and it probably will never be replicated the exact same way, I think it's sort of like you're almost being like jaded to anything new. Does that make sense? It's almost like, oh, well, I don't think Cold War is going to be as good as Black Ops 3 days because that's when I first got introduced into zombies, and you're like kind of jaded towards it. Or I don't know if I want to cover something else other than zombies because my entire channel was built on that core Black Ops 3 community days. And I don't know if I'll ever be able to find that same feeling with any other thing ever again. And that's a scary thought. Like, think about that. Like, that is like, for us, Black Ops 3 was this thing that propelled our lives in a lot of ways. It brought all of us together, right? Most of you guys in the chat know me because of Black Ops 3. And I apologize if you guys just know me from streams. I love you, though. I appreciate you guys joining me on the ride of variety because it makes me really damn happy. But a lot of my core audience is Black Ops 3 days. And I feel like there's this thing where people, it's like, okay, if, like, say you're a YouTuber that made it for Black Ops 3, right? In those days. Would you be fulfilled even if we had a year that was exactly the same as that year, the Black Ops 3? And the answer is no, I don't think. You almost don't want to do the same thing twice. Does that make sense? It's like you don't want to like, the last thing I wanted to do this year with Cold War Zombies is make things people say about Cold War Zombies, because I have done that. I know how that works. I know that I can get views on that. I know that it's a thing that has a very, very high likelihood chance of actually working out. But it's actually crazy because of that reason, I don't want to do it. Isn't that wild? It's like, I could make the things people say about zombies every freaking week if I wanted to, and I think it would do pretty well. I really do. And I don't think that is me just having like an ego about it or anything. I think genuinely, like, a lot of people know me for that series, so they'd probably love that series back. But I kind of like refuse to do it internally because I've already done it, right? And you got to think of like, I don't know, like I'm trying to like put it in perspective with like the other guys, for instance. Like, I don't know, like think of like Milo, for instance. He's always covered the story, always covered the story, always covered the story, always covered the story. Again. Then Cold War, again. It's like at some point you want to do something new. Do you know what I mean? At some point, your brain is like, I have literally done nothing but this for 10 years of my life, right? Especially like with a lot of like my friends, a lot of them have been doing it since like 2009, 2010. And it's like, bro, there's this vibe of like, you want to outdo what you did. Like you want to like see it reach a new height. And I think because of how magical Black Ops 3, it was almost too damn good for its own good, that it's sort of, it's made like other games out there feel like, yeah, this game's cool, but is it going to have the Black Ops 3 community vibes that we had? And so you kind of have this like negative outlook on anything new, because you're like, yeah, well, it's not gonna reach the Black Ops 3 days. Come on, it's not gonna reach the Black Ops 3 days. But that's stupid. I think that mindset is dangerous. I'm like, this is a mindset that we all have. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's very dangerous, because and the best way I can describe it is like this, right? Sorry, I'm going on a rant, but I just need to vent about this, okay? Because a lot of my friends are like, I don't know, like not really going through it. We were more just talking about it, like about life and about fulfillment and stuff. It wasn't like people were like down bad or anything. Not too much. It was just more about life. But like, here's the best example, right? All right, take Ninja, for example, okay? Take Ninja. Say what you want about the guy, all right? Like, I'm not talking about him as a person. I'm not talking about whatever you feel about him. Doesn't matter in this case. I'm just, look at him as a case study for a second. Do you know what Ninja was known for before Fortnite? He was known as one of the best esports players for Halo, right? One of the best esports players for Halo that's ever walked the earth, right? He had a pretty damn big following already. Not a massive one like he had later, but he had a pretty good following already from being a really good Halo player, right? Now, if Ninja stayed in the mindset that he would never ever do anything other than Halo for the rest of his damn life, he would never have been the top streamer on Twitch for Fortnite. That he surpassed everything he did for Halo. He surpassed all of it. And I bet he looks back at the Halo times as pretty damn good times, right? And I think it's the same way with a lot of us. We look at the Black Ops 3 days as, oh my God, it's this crazy time that we all remember. Our channels did well for content creators. The community, for you guys, like the community was fun. It was interactive, like all this kind of stuff. It was awesome. And we look at it and we're like, that's never going to happen again. I'm like jaded towards other games. I'm scared to even try other games, right? But to me, I'm like, what's stopping another game doing that in the future? There's nothing stopping it. The likelihood chance of another game that happening is probably 1 million to 1 of it not ever happening. It's going to happen again on another game. There is going to be a community, maybe not exactly the same, but in terms of the hype and in terms of like the viewers and in terms of all that, as a content creator or something, there's going to be more games in the future where that happens. It's just going to be a thing, right? And I think it's like, my whole point is, we look so much towards the past nostalgically and we're like, this is what I'm used to. This is what did well. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to top this. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to able to experience something that's as good as this. And all I can say to that is, look at Ninja, man. He literally was somebody on top of the game for Halo, pretty damn well known in the Halo community, and he didn't let it stop him from playing another game later on. And then he became a multi-millionaire because of just actually not being afraid of it. Actually not letting his jadedness towards another game, consistently streaming another game, stop him. And say what you want about him as a person. I'm not talking about that, because I know people are always controversial on Ninja for some reason, but I'm just saying it's a prime example of somebody who did not let that like negativity get to them about the past. It's like positivity for the past. It's like you love the past, but you're almost like dreading the future because you don't think it's ever going to be as good as the past. We do that with so many games. The gaming community does it with so many games. In life too, exactly. Cloudboard makes a good point. Exactly, in life. It's like you always want that feeling of the past, but sometimes you really don't realize that the future could be even greater. I believe that there is going to be gaming communities out there that surpass the Black Ops 3 days. I do. In my soul, I know it's going to be possible, especially because games are becoming more and more interactive. They're becoming more and more accessible in every sort of way. And not to mention, Zombies at its core was a third pillar game mode. It was crazy that we were even able to do that back then. There is so much of a future in the gaming industry. It's unreal. All kinds of games. Doesn't matter if it's Battle Royale, whatever. All kinds of games in the future that are going to have crazy communities like we had in BO3. Yeah, it's not going to be the exact same community. Obviously, you're not going to have the same makeup of people every time. But you get that fire of like passion for like, I just want to see a community like that again. And like, that's what was fun. I think the community of BO3 was almost like better than the game itself. No offense to the game. I love the game. Don't get me wrong. I love it. And you guys probably do too. But the community made it awesome. Like the reason why we love it is because the community. It was the people. It was the people you played with. I don't know. I feel like, especially with content creators, I see it. Not only in my friends, but in other people too out there. They get really confined and they get trapped, and they're like, I don't know what to do. I'm not feeling as fulfilled as I did before. I don't think things are going to be as good as they were before. Kind of all that kind of thing. And then if you can just like power through that and just be a little bit more hopeful and actually kind of like, you know, wipe away the jadedness a little bit about all future things in the world sucking. There's a lot of potential for some really fun things in the future. That is what I'm saying. Here's a really good example. I'll give you a really good example. And I was talking with Lex about this. All right. Outbreak for zombies, right? That mode on zombies is absolutely incredible in terms of what it's trying to do. It's granted a very, very first attempt thing, but if people would just let it be an exciting thing and not say, oh, this isn't classic zombies. This isn't a classic round-based zombies mode. Who knows where zombies could go? But will the community let that happen? I don't know. Like, to me, the most exciting thing about Cold War Zombies is Outbreak. And that may sound insane to you guys, but it's the most exciting thing. The round-based maps are great. Don't get me wrong. I still love them. But I think the community does this thing where it's like you play the map and then you kind of like are done when the map is completed, like Easter egg wise. I could see Outbreak being the thing that is like way more replayable, way more like streamable, way more interactable. You can get people to hop in and just kind of explore a world together and just really have a lot more freedom. It's way more accessible for casual players. Like, to me, I look at that and I'm like, that's awesome. But people have this thing where they're like, no, it needs to be, I need things to be how they were in the past because that's comfortable. There's definitely like pluses and minuses on both sides. Don't get me wrong. I don't think that a game should absolutely like destroy everything that they built the foundations on, because that's different. I think Lex was telling me that, again, I can't speak for Lex 100%. I can't remember exactly what he said, but he was saying that like he was seeing a lot of stuff in like his chat or something about people just not liking Outbreak or something, like, or people just dogging on it because I think more like there's more content coming to Outbreak or whatever. And it like kind of made him sad because, and I was talking to him, I was like, and I agree with you. I was like, bro, Outbreak is so damn cool. And I hope that people don't put it into this like funnel of, oh, this isn't the normal zombies I love, so I don't like this and I'm never going to like this. I really hope people like actually go, hey, I want my round-based stuff. Absolutely, I want my round-based maps. But I also think this new thing that they're trying is actually pretty cool. And I want to give this a try. And I kind of like give them props for trying to do something new with it, you know? Like, that's where you find the BO3, man. That's where you find the crazy innovation that makes an entire community explode. It's stuff like that. It's crazy. I don't know what I'm ranting about. I'm basically just saying that I am seeing a lot of my content creator friends being very, very, I feel like they feel like they're like stagnating or something. Like I feel like they're feeling like they haven't, or I feel like they're feeling like they have seen all there is to content creation at times. If someone has like 1 million subs or something, it's like, okay, yeah, hit 1 million subs. It's a pretty damn big goal. What else do you go for after that? But I'm going to be the one who sits here and tells you, well, what about Mr. Beast, right? He didn't stop at just 1 million. He didn't let it like stagnate at just 1 million. He kept going. He kept going and going and going and going. Same thing with Ludwig with the sub marathon thing. Ludwig was like, okay, I am like one of the top streamers on Twitch. Even for a week, I've probably made like, what do you make? Like 200 grand or something. He went the whole 9 yards. He went all the way for a month because he was like, I'm going for the top spot, the #1 spot on the entire platform for streaming. That's the kind of thing where I'm like, oh, that fire, that passion of like, I want to be the top. That's insane. And I genuinely think that like, yeah, Noah's a great example. Noah literally keeps on going. Noah's one of the guys. I genuinely hope you guys realize that Noah has like one of the best work ethics of any person I've ever met in my entire life. He does not let anything stop him. He does not let anything get to him. He does not stagnate. He just keeps going and he keeps striving for even bigger and bigger goals. He strives for bigger goals in charity, with like doing that second ZWC. He strives for like just doing other content as well, not letting like negativity get to him if things are going rough. And he's still putting out consistent content like daily on like 2 or 3 channels. And he's almost at 5 mil. And I know for damn sure that Noah could hit 10 mil someday. I know for damn sure that he could hit 20 mil someday. It's possible. What's stopping him? You know, like what's stopping him? So my whole point is, there could be a game in the future that Noah J plays that maybe isn't even zombies. You don't know. And maybe that's the thing that gets him to 10 million one day. You know? It's like we only focus our attention to what we know and what we're familiar with. And I think if people were just a little bit more open to things, I don't know, like you just feel better. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I'm excited for the future of gaming. You know how you have people who are like, oh, gaming sucks nowadays or whatever. Are you kidding me? We've never been this connected before. We have never been this connected before in video games. BO3, yes, greatest year of my life, no doubt. But dude, can you imagine the interactivity that we would have on BO3 nowadays? It's unreal. We didn't have cross-platform. We didn't have cross anything. You couldn't play with PC players if you're on a console. Like, think about all the stuff, man, that would be different nowadays. And if you tell me that gaming is not exciting in the future, I'm going to look at you like you're crazy because things are just getting better. They're going better and better and better. New technology. PS5 is freaking awesome. The controller, like we saw in these games, now we have the ability to do like kind of multiple buttons on the triggers now with the haptic feedback because you can put different pressure on it. It's just getting better and better. Stop being negative about video games. Stop it. We used to have microtransactions and loot boxes. Now we have battle passes where you can actually see what you're earning. You can see what you're earning. You can see what you're gonna get from the store. 5 years ago, I would have dreamed of that. Every game, everything was locked in a box that I couldn't see. I was like, I want this weapon in BO3 and I couldn't get it. Now I can get it. It's just like, I don't understand, but we have so much nostalgia for all of that stuff. We're like, yo, those are the best times ever. Yes, we had great times, but it doesn't mean that times in the future can't be good. Doesn't mean they can't be good, chat. And this was all set off by Rister Mice rating me. I just want to let it